Is it possible to have really low expectations and still be disappointed? We have our first look at Throne and Liberty, and it's not looking great. There are some disturbing rumors about a game that I have covered on this channel, a game that I think could be the largest MMO launch of 2023, Throne and Liberty. Reported by Force Gaming that there has been a translation from the Korean test of auto hunting. Now, auto hunting could be referring to autoplay. Autoplay is fairly common in a lot of games, especially those that will have mobile ports.
Hello guys, we're currently in the middle of playing Throne and Liberty, and as you can see, it's high action, impactful combat, and we're currently cheering on my character because I can't even do anything anyways.
Auto combat is in the game, as well as like auto gathering.
So we've been playing this now for almost 2 hours, a little bit less than 2 hours, maybe 1.5. And as you can see right now, the game is playing itself.
Now, it should be noted with a very heavy dose of copium that this is for the Korean beta. This is not for the Western release. So there remains a very minute, small, tiny little itty bitty, tiny little hope that maybe we will not actually get autoplay once it's produced by Amazon. But I think that's a very minute and very shrinking hope. Well, just to see if the reaction to this either makes any changes in Amazon or if it makes Amazon Game Studios come out and make any clarifications about what their version of Throne and Liberty will have. But I'm not holding my breath. We'll just wait and see, I guess. We had rumors of autoplay a few months ago, and I've been pounding the drum of how this game is going to include a battle pass for a while now. I think the latter is going to be pretty common in MMOs going forward as a hybridization model between subscriptions and free-to-play. It's in New World, it'll be in Diablo 4, it's in pretty much every first-person shooter. Battle passes don't appear to be going anywhere. I think I personally would have just preferred a subscription fee for access to the game, but rather than like this free-to-play plus this, optional-ish battle pass. But it usually works out to be cheaper than $15 a month, what you used to be paying for subscription fees, or you're still paying if you play games like EverQuest, Final Fantasy XIV, or World of Warcraft. But it's still just kind of annoying, and usually a battle pass has kind of been synonymous with additional microtransactions. My expectations for Throne and Liberty weren't exactly high, but to say this is a disappointment is kind of an understatement. I will withhold my final judgments until I've actually been able to play the game. I still plan to play Throne and Liberty once it releases out in the West, even if it's really just to give you all my first person experience, my first impressions. I feel like as a channel that deals with MMORPGs, that's kind of like my whole purpose, right? Besides making really dumb jokes, of course. Now, much will be made of how this game has been in development for 12 years, and I really have to sit here and ask, why? Why spend so much time developing a game only to truncate the game with autoplay features? There's this enigma in MMORPGs for me since really around 2010, maybe even before, where games are so eager to get you through their content as to make the content actually seem meaningless. It makes me wonder why so much time goes into the art and the story of an MMORPG. What good does it serve if you're going to speed players through it? Why spend so much money and time on animations, writers, zone building, when ultimately you'll end up diluting it with endgame only focus? Or in this game, an egregious autoplay system that disincentivizes actually playing the game. Whether or not the autoplay feature makes it into the Western launch, the game has clearly been built around it. A game with autoplay features will usually have an artificially enhanced grind to compensate for the ability to play the game, without actually being present, even offline, as we can see in this translation here. The sense of struggle followed by achievement are key to what make an MMORPG worth playing, at least for me. A game that takes away the most basic functions of the game dilutes it to the point where it essentially becomes not playable. It turns into a mobile game that you set and forget. And honestly, we already have those games. They have their own niche, they have their own audience. It's kind of frustrating when you see that kind of playstyle moving into a space that is absolutely starved for an MMORPG. I strongly believe that everyone has the right to enjoy whatever MMORPG they want to enjoy. And if this is the kind of game you enjoy, fantastic. I hope you will have a great time with the autoplay features in Throne and Liberty. It still looks like a very beautiful game after all. But when there's just so little out. Everything that most people play tends to be 5, 10, 20 years old at this point. We have been waiting and wanting and hoping for really anything. There's a reason why New World had almost 1 million players on launch day. There's a reason why Lost Ark hit 1.3 million. And there'll be a reason why this game, Throne and Liberty, probably still hits a very high number. Because we just want a new game. We are so eager for it, and we continue to face these disappointments. And it's really getting to a point where there's a struggle with it, where there's always the game that's just around the corner, the one that we're waiting for. For many people, that's like the Riot MMO. For others like myself, it's Pantheon, Rise of the Fallen. For others, it's Ashes of Creation. But ultimately, games like this are supposed to be there at least to tide us over. And when they do something like this, where they add this feature that really just makes it so that the whole struggle involved in an MMO is kind of stripped away. The whole purpose of getting to that higher level, getting to that next quest, is kind of removed because the game is playing it for you. When the very first time you play, it is all done for you. What is the point of playing? What success do you get? What feeling of achievement is there when all it's been done by the game, by clicking a button and walking away? If this is the future of MMORPGs, I may need to make a very hard pivot, both for my personal self and for this channel, to the RPGs I've been covering, because I at least know for certain that Baldur's Gate 3 is sure as hell not going to have autoplay features. I don't want to play a game that just turns into a grind simulator where you're just pressing a button and cheering on your character, as was so eloquently put in one of the examples I used earlier. Anyway, this was just a short video to kind of cover this and really kind of break the news to some people that may not have seen it yet, and really kind of preemptively soften the blow a little bit before it gets to us. And maybe just hold on to that tiny little sliver of hope that this will be changed before we get it, especially since with the delay of Blue Protocol, which was recently announced, this is really the biggest MMORPG launch we're going to have this year. It already probably was the biggest we were going to have this year. It's a bit of a lean year, but hey, at the very least, this gives you some time to play games like Diablo 4, a game that I covered during their access right here. I know it's not fully an MMORPG, but hey, it doesn't have autoplay. It does have a battle pass though. Like I said, they aren't going away. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day,